Alright, Travis Wayne Goodsill. This is a perfect example of the mindset of Mormon Utah. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints runs and operates Utah. If you don't get that, then you don't know how the organization is set up and how their members are in all top positions in this nation or in this state. And as a result, the church has turned. They used to be all about polygamy, as many of you know, and then the United States stepped in and devastated the church, confiscated all their assets, their buildings, and all that, and forced the church into financial ruin as they had to rent the property back. But they got caught still practicing polygamy, and so the church went underground and has now turned it into bigamy. And as a result, the church outwardly bans all things sexually related. They've even tried to control sexual behavior within marriages. Fortunately, that ended before I when I was born, I guess. If not before I became married myself. But I heard all the talk, and as a result, Utah has been an abstinence state, where they really don't want to have sex education in schools. All they want to do is teach abstinence. Don't do it, don't think it, don't touch it. And as a result, boys and girls get conflicted because their natural instinct is to perpetuate the species. And they have their religion telling them that it's sinful to perpetuate the species. And that causes feelings of guilt after they do what comes natural. And the other bad side effect, or the negative consequence of this, and you must remember, the Mormons have a primary song about do what is right, let the consequences follow. And it doesn't talk about it, but when you do what is wrong, the consequences also will follow. And as a result of this abstinence, which is a wrong approach to sex education for our youth, is resulting in rampant rebellion as single teen mothers are at a high percentage here in Utah. STDs are at a high percentage here in Utah, and single mothers are at a high percentage here in Utah, if I didn't say that first. And the state, because they forbid, because of the church, sexual behavior, people get punished. So single mothers are denied assistance, and given little assistance, and I think Trump was probably going to be crushing that too with the unemployment denial of SNAP benefits. So I think single mothers will be included in that. But another problem is child rape among adult men. And even women, teachers especially, are getting arrested along with predatory men for raping children. And it's a huge problem in Utah because of this abstinence policy caused by the religion, because of the government putting a stop to polygamy. That's an emotional response that the church had back then, and it's not followed, because rape kits are not getting processed in Utah. In 2017, they began processing the backlog of rape kits and had over 1,000 as reported back then. But KUTV, our local affiliate here in Utah, did an update about how these rape kits are not getting done as they were supposed to 3 years ago, going on 3, and that many thousands more have been added and they're not getting processed. And so the problem's getting worse here in Utah. I mean, thousands of rape kits. I mean, this isn't just one guy. So this is bad news for Utah. And the ABC4 Utah thumbnail that I had a snapshot of and put it here at the beginning of my video, shows just how ignorant Utah Mormons are, and how they don't see the cause of the problem, that it's ingrained in them. Because when you look at the title, Stop the Bleed, and then you have a young girl looking down, and then you have an older man looking down in that same direction, stop the bleed. You know, did nobody check to say, hey, wait a minute, maybe this isn't appropriate for our picture? Because it's not talking about menstrual cycles in women. You know, and as hilarious as it is, if we all were open and honest about sexuality, because we're not open and honest about sexuality, this thumbnail picture ends up being horrifying. And yeah, shame on ABC4 Utah for not catching this. And no, they're talking about school shootings and how to stop wounds from gunshots. But the thumbnail has sexual innuendo in it, and that's a sad feature in Mormon Utah, as a demonstration of the negative consequences of abstinence. So, yeah.